Hello, my fellow individuals. I am Mr. Mini Mask Man here, and today we're going to do Season 7, Episode 1 spoiler review of The Walking Dead. Now, obviously, if you haven't seen the episode, you definitely need to see it, don't watch this video until you do so, because it will be nothing but full of spoilers, and just in case for who hasn't read the comics, possible comic book spoilers right over here. So, right off the bat, remember from Season 6 Cliffhanger, how it frustrated almost everyone, including me, just the way that I just left it in that really cheap cliffhanger. Oh, okay, I am still frustrated in that. However, this premiere, the Season 7 premiere, wow. Okay, I'm gonna do something a little bit different in this review for my TV series. I'm not gonna go break it down scene by scene like I did with the Game of Thrones thing, because I know what's the point? If you've already seen it, then what's the point of me explaining it step by step of what you just saw? So I'm just gonna kind of go do an overview of what I think, of what I felt, and I'll try to keep it as short as possible, not too long either, as usual. I'll try. Let's see how this goes. Alrighty, so for the first, I would say, almost 20 minutes, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, we don't get to see who got the bat, who died from Negan, and then people were guesstimating. So I had a higher probability that it was definitely going to be Abraham. I don't know if I said that during my last... no, I never did a Season 6 one. But anyways, I really just speculated Abraham as definitely the top choice that Negan was going to kill. Since Abraham died in the comics way before, when Denise died, when she got shot by Dwight in the arrow in the back of the head. So I assume... And plus on top of that, I don't know, the episodes around Season 6 were definitely showing that Abraham... Between Abraham or Sasha, one of those two, specifically Abraham, was going to get, and they're also teasing between Maggie and Glenn. Now, so with Abraham, when I saw that they chose Abraham, I wasn't too shocked or too, like, holy crap. But it was kind of like, oh, I kind of knew it. I just kind of like, oh, okay. Now, it doesn't mean I hated Abraham. I freaking love Abraham in the series. It was one of the best one-liners in that show, for sure. So I'm definitely going to miss Abraham. That's for sure. So unless we get, maybe not a comic relief, but I don't think there'll be someone like Abraham. He kind of he had his moments. He had this Abraham moments, Now, what did, not really shock me, but what did surprise me a little. Okay, not a little. It did surprise me, I'll just say it straightforward. Was that Negan killed 2 people instead of 1. And personally, I thought, because they just killed Abraham, for me it was like, what was the point of that long cliffhanger suspense? Like, it wouldn't have paid off. People would, a lot of people would have complained. Well, people complain about everything, but it's just that it's their opinion, so I respect everybody's opinion, whether I agree or disagree, so, But, however, with Glenn's death added there, and it paid homage to the comics. Well, this one's my graphic novel, Volume 17. The introduction to Negan and Glenn's death, which happened in comic book issue number 100, if I'm not mistaken. How that made one of the most strongest impact of the comic series of The Walking Dead. They did it just right in the series. That's why I was like both excited, but obviously I hated to see it. Glenn's death, people knew. I mean, that was also, I was thinking, because I don't know if it was between 2. I was like, either Abraham's death or they're going to go just like the comics with Glenn. And personally, I think they did the right decision by doing both. 2 at the same time to kind of, at least for making up for that cliffhanger, So I personally thought it was a smart move on their part for doing both. To give us what do you call, not as high tension when we saw Abraham's death. So the person, we thought, oh, okay, so Glenn is safe. Nope. You know, just right off the bat. You know, no pun intended. And, oh man. God. It's just, you know that there is a good question that people are now, I keep reading and hearing. Was it really Daryl's fault for Glenn's death? Well, Glenn would have still died anyways if Daryl didn't jump in after Abraham's done and punch Negan right in the face. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, indirectly, it's a debate. It's definitely a debate that I know quite a bit of people are having right now as we're speaking. So, but I can't blame Daryl. He got emotional and all that after one death, and he didn't carry. But, you know, honestly, when you're in that state, you don't think of the result. You don't logically think what's going to happen. You know, maybe he thought he could have paid the price, but he didn't expect Negan to kill someone else instead. So, and on top of that, the Saviors now have Daryl kind of hostage now. So it's going to be different now to see where they're taking Daryl in this direction in this storyline, where we currently starting in this part of The Walking Dead. So, because, you know, Daryl's not a comic book character, we don't know. They can do anything with him. Will he understand more about the Saviors, or will he find a way, you know, to take him down? You know? So, it's kind of, Now, I think I think what would be interesting, actually, is what if happened if Daryl took Dwight's place? I mean, you know, Dwight still has, you know, his little backstory of how he got to that point. But what if somehow, you know, Dwight somehow died in there, and Daryl's the one that was this, you know, became, you know, one of Negan's new henchmen with a crossbow, and during, you know, the all-out war, when he tells Negan to kill Rick, you know, he shoots him with the arrow, the infected arrow from the walkers. But it's like exactly what happened, but except it's Daryl. And thanks to Daryl, he knew the inside of the sanctuary. Not from Terminus and all that, but the actual name where the Saviors are. Like, he knew all the secrets and all that, and that's where he told Rick and so forth. But that's speculation, of course. I think they'll do something way different. But I don't know. Or Dwight is still going to play his role, just like in the comics. You never know. So, but I think this was easily, definitely the top, or one of the top 2 season premieres that The Walking Dead has. I think right up there with season's 5 premiere. I think season 5's premiere. You know, where Carol came in and saved Rick and the gang at Terminus, and it was very action-packed. Between those two, I would say, is right up there. I think maybe this one a little more. I would say season 7's premiere is a little. I think I'll rank it just slightly higher than season 5's premiere, because, God, they've done it so well. Every character, their acting, their emotion, it's just so. It felt real. Even me and other comic book readers that we knew it was going to happen, even with Glenn's death, or hell, even Abraham's. We knew it was going to happen, but it still got you there. You know? It just really got you there. I was just kind of like, wow. Jesus. You know, Negan, you know, and bravo for Jeffrey Dean Morgan for Negan's role. You know? I think he's nailing Negan. Oh God, that sounded right. I mean, he's doing his part as Negan justice, for sure. You know, for damn sure. So well done to him. You know, and for everybody else, especially, oh God, Rick. Damn, that. God, it just felt so real. It felt genuine. It didn't feel like they were acting. It's like it really happened, you know? I was just like, wow, you know? So I think that's why I'm ranking it slightly higher, just because it did still leave an impact. It left an impact for the majority of us, 90-something%. Whether comic readers or just TV show watchers, doesn't matter. It still left an impact. And that's what I think this premiere did pretty well. and completely made up for season 6 season finale for sure. And I will say well done for the director, the writers, Robert Kirkman, all those guys that got involved with this episode. This is a hell of a way to start season 7, you know? And sorry I keep saying you know, but for real though, it was just wow. And well, yeah, and the thing that I think I was gonna not lose it as in get angry, but I was gonna lose it with the shock factor was when Negan got Carl in front and trying to force Rick to cut Carl's arm off. I would say if that would have happened, I would have like, holy crap, they really went out to demonstrate Negan's, the villain. The villain of The Walking Dead. You know, more than the Governor, and definitely more than Alpha. Well, you know what happened to Alpha later, and Jesus, just wow. And I honestly thought, instead of trying to chop Carl's arm, I somehow thought maybe Rick was going to chop his own arm off instead. For some reason, I don't know why, because of, well, like Rick in the comics, he got his arm cut off from the Governor. So I thought maybe they're going to bring it back, but instead, obviously make it a bigger twist of how he lost his arm. That's what I honestly thought. I thought it was going to sort of happen when it was really building up. And I was like, no. Carl can't lose an eye and an arm, can he? So I really thought Rick was going to do it on himself somehow. I don't know, like, he could probably lay it out and just do part of this, or I don't know. I really thought. So that's why I was like, oh crap, I actually was getting very suspenseful in that moment. I was very, just like, oh god, don't do it. Because I knew for sure, no, not all of them was going to die, if he didn't do it. Obviously. Well, I mean, we just know. And if they kill them all off, then obviously that's not very smart. That's just taking it, way too extreme for that. Not in gore or violence. I actually liked it that they did demonstrate the gore to show that the real factory. Well, the comics was still slightly worse, but this is AMC. It's not HBO or like Game of Thrones or anything where they actually show you the grittiest. But this was still good enough for cable television to show both. So I just think this episode just was really well done. Was really well rounded through the music, the facial expressions, the characters, the acting, and it really left an impact, especially around the end, where it showed all of them having this happy sunny day dinner with Abraham and Glenn, and with Maggie's child. Well, Glenn and Maggie's child. And Maggie. And by the way, I think they still went with Glenn's death. I think just because I knew they have to develop Maggie for what she becomes, in the comics, the leader of the Hilltop Colony. So I know that's for damn sure that why they still killed Glenn anyways, because of that. Because if they didn't kill Glenn, I don't know how she would have developed to become more stand-up, more become a leader, a tough, fierce leader, So I understand why they did both. So, and personally, I thought it was the right decision. It's not like saying, oh, they both deserve to die. No. I would have wished Glenn was still alive, for real. And Abraham, both. Oh. God, but it was so tragic. Even though we knew it. Almost like, I would say, I think, this is the Walking Dead's version, so far. I'm trying to think of all the previous deaths, but I think this is so far the Walking Dead version of the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones, This is the Walking Dead's Red Wedding. We saw Abraham's death and we were already like, well, damn, but Glenn's death is what did it. Glenn's death, Rick's reaction, the whole group's reaction, it was just perfect. It really caught you in that moment. And it was just magnificent how they did that. How well shot it was. It really was. Walking Dead actually really impressed me. It's been a while since they've done something like that to blow my mind. Well, Hopefully not with a bat. But it was just, God. And guys, get prepared for what's to come with Negan and the Saviors. Now people know. They're kind of confused now. People are like, I freaking love Negan, but now I hate him. But I love it. It's a love-hate. That's where you have a good villain. A love-hate situation, relationship kind of deal. You love him. You kind of try to understand, his charisma and his character, but you hate him for the actions that he does because, well, he's a villain. I just think I think Negan's finally, we're gonna get a really good villain in The Walking Dead compared to the show's governor. The series, the governor from The Walking Dead series just didn't cut it out. People were just sick of him, not because they're like, oh God, they hate him, but not that hate where it's like, damn, they should have kept him, but he was just so, I don't know. I don't want to blame the actor. I don't think it's the actor's fault. I think it was just either the way he was written or the way they directed him on some stuff. It was just, I don't know what did it, for the governor. That just kind of felt bland. It felt annoying when you saw him. You're like, oh God, just please kill him off, It just, the comic book version of the governor was much better. Well, it was much better. It should have been more like that. Then he would have been a more acceptable villain. Hell, even Shane was more interesting than the governor. As I know Shane wasn't a villain, he was just more of the opposites of Rick. But even he was more interesting than the governor, I think. I think the governor's even way ranked down there. I think he'll even freaking... I guess, the guys from Terminus, like Gareth, and all those are even slightly above the governor. In my opinion, of course. At least the second half of the governor, when he lost his eye. That's when I think it just felt... ugh. And... hang on 1 second. I'll be right back. And I'm back. So... what I was saying was, compare with the governor, and I apologize for my dogs. So, but anyways, thanks to that, I don't know. So back when I was just saying, they already introduced Negan, and he's already easily the antagonist of the series. So well done for Negan's portrayal. And obviously for Rick. God, I know I'm repeating myself, but I thought it still blows my mind now. How, just everything about it, this was a hell of a season premiere. So now the question is, can they top it off for the rest of the season? How can they top this one off? Now, what I'm speculating, where they are now in here, in this graphic novel, I believe they're either halfway or 2/3 of the way here, if I'm not mistaken, right now where they're at. So, this is what I think is going to happen for the first half of this season 7. I think we're going to see, how, Rick now has to serve Negan, Rick and the guys from Alexandria. And then we would definitely get introduction from the Kingdom, obviously from the previews. You get introduction from the Kingdom, and Ezekiel and his tiger Shiva. So, I really think probably the first half of the season finale, for the first half of the season 7, is going to end with Rick, Ezekiel, and Jesus. Those three, like in the comics. They're going to go and discuss how to take down Negan because Negan goes too far. They need him. They need him out. It's like saying it's time to take him down. I think the three of us could take him out. We could take him out. And I think with the surprise of Dwight, or with my little somewhat speculation theory of Daryl, but maybe they'll stick with Dwight. I think they're just going to stick with Dwight, to develop his character there. But, to tell him that he's going to join forces with them to take down Negan and the rest of the Saviors once and for all. And that's where I think the first half, or maybe all, of All Out War is going to start on the second half of Season 7. Now, depending how much, if not the second half of season 7, then I think the very season 7 finale would be the beginning of All Out War. You know, where they finally were. You know, if you read through the comics, I think All Out War was volume. I think that was 19 and 20. I have it back here. I could look later, but it was around there, depending on the pace that they do. So I assume they're gonna go over more. I think from the second episode all the way almost to this first half of season 7 is gonna be just a bunch of not filler, but just more on the effects. You know, I always use the second episode with the effects of the characters after Glenn and Abraham's death, how everybody's, you know, been doing now, and, you know, now they're under this new rule of under Negan, and they have to serve them now and give them, you know, their half of their stuff every weekly when Negan drops by, and then you will see more Negan, obviously, for him dropping by and, you know, being Negan. And then obviously we're going to see a lot more about the Kingdom, which I assume is going to be through Carol and Morgan's speculations, how they view it, and they'll meet Ezekiel and all that. And then somehow they'll come back, Carol and Morgan will see Rick later, and they're going to see everything change. We're like, what the hell happened? You know, who's Negan? They know who's Negan, I'm sorry. But they'll just be like, what happened? And then they'll explain what happened. And then Carol and Morgan will say, hey, we know these guys from the Kingdom, and their leader Ezekiel. You know, Rick, you should meet him and talk to him, and then do something about it. And that's where I think he'll meet Ezekiel, and, you know, then the three, like I said, Jesus, Ezekiel, and Rick, are going to start making plans to take down Negan. You know, after, what did Negan, I completely forgot what did Negan do that crossed the line where Rick finally said, you know what, we need to take him out now. It's like, I don't care, we gotta take him out. And that's where he meets the other two. Well, Ezekiel, and then, you know, Jesus is part of it. To represent each of the communities. So, at least that's what I'm envisioning in my head is gonna happen. While at this time, Maggie, we're gonna see a lot of character development for Maggie. For sure. This season, you're gonna see quite a bit of Maggie, too. So, definitely that. As for Daryl, like I said, Daryl right now, I don't know what they're going to do with Daryl. So this is, for me, Daryl's kind of, So he's still a mystery of what they're going to do with his character this season. So I'm actually interested in what they're going to do with him for season 7. So, and I think, let's see the rest. Obviously, you know, more character deaths. I think that's originally where Denise died during the All Out Wars, where Denise died. But since she's dead already, they'll probably replace it with someone else. So we'll see. But like I said, I think either All Out War is going to start, depending on the pace. If it's pretty steady, pretty, you know, straight to the point, I think the second half of season 7, they're going to begin All Out War. But if it's kind of a slow, more character development, kind of, you know, episodes throughout the majority in this middle, then around the end of season 7 is where they're going to say it's All Out War. And then it's going to keep us hanging like, oh crap, you know, he's like, oh god, they're going to fight, you know, what's going to happen, you know? Depending, of course. And then, you know, All Out War will begin. Almost the majority, if not all of season 8, will be All Out War Part 1 and 2. So that's my two speculations of what's going to happen there. So, yeah. But yeah, so I think that's what we're going to, at least that's what we're going to expect to see throughout season 7. Maybe not as a whole, but at least the first half, for sure. So, at least if they go according to the comics here, it should go that way. I know, obviously with changes, there's always changes. It's an adaptation from the comics. But they're definitely leaning more towards stuff from the comics now. From this point on, they're definitely grabbing some things from the comics, with at the same time doing their twists. So I kind of like how they're doing that both. It's like they're trying to please both the TV viewers and the comic book readers. They're trying to say, okay, well, here's our little originality or twist or switcheroo But hey, look, this also happens in the comic to please, you know, your fellow comic book readers. You know, to see exactly how the scene is played out from the comics to the series. So, yeah. At least that's what I think. That's how it's gonna go down, for sure. But yeah. So overall, this episode, I think, is definitely a hell of a way to start Season 7. Hell, I think on this might be... I don't even finish watching Season 7 yet. Well, obviously it just started, but I think this might be the best episode of the season so far. You know, until something else overtops it. But I think just everything about it, it did everything to get you there, to really give you that emotional impact. I really think it does, you know? So, good job on this premiere. Rest in peace, Glenn. Rest in peace, Abraham. It sucks that both of you are gone, but it's The Walking Dead. This stuff happens, like Game of Thrones. Deaths happen. So, not a surprise, but at the same time, still shocks us and hurt us. Especially depending how close we are to the characters. So, I think they did a well done job. So, overall, great episode. Actually, a pretty damn good episode for this. It kept my interest once more in The Walking Dead. Well, I always got my interest in The Walking Dead, but you know there's parts where you're like, you know, same old, same old, same old. Something happens, same old, same old, same old. Going a little lower, well, something good, a little lower. Something happens, you know, like that. So I'm kind of afraid, because this is so good just to start, I don't know how everything else is gonna, maybe not top it, but be just as engaging throughout the majority of the season. I know not every episode is going to be gold, but at least throughout the majority, to keep us, you know, really there, not just kind of like, oh, that's a waste of an episode. Well, I guess we'll see next week and see if they do better. You know, I don't want that. I really don't. But, you know, we can't, you know, but whatever. So, I have hopes now for, well, not now, but I have hopes that Season 7, or hell, even, depending how soon they go to the All-Out War arc, but between Season 7 or Season 8, I think it's going to be an overall good, well-developed season. Because, hell, Negan is here, so this should be interesting. If you got an interesting villain, you know, things are going to get entertaining throughout the rest of the season. And I don't know, is that all I got to say for Raleigh? Because I don't want to keep this filling up just to take up more space, so if I can't think of anything right now, then I'll probably think of it later. But I think that's all I got to say about this, so yes. Hell of a good start. Hell of a good, damn good start. So, we will see what happens now from this point on. And let's hope for the best, right? Oh, God. Man. You know, it's still there. I want to watch it again, though. It'll be painful as hell, but it's so good that I actually do want to watch it again. So, yeah. But alrighty then. I think that's all I got to say for now that I can think of. So, thank you guys for watching this, and if you like the video, you know what to do. And as always, I hope you guys have a nice day.